What's up, guys? It's Tailwind here for another episode of PBL Season 7. Once again, still don't have any editing software yet, still in the works, but hopefully I don't sound too bad. So, without further ado, let's get into this. For this week, I am facing Ethio, coach of the Aussie Aggrons. Now, I will say that after this battle, Ethio unfortunately had to drop the league due to time constraints and lack of enjoyment towards draft in general. So there has been a replacement found for next week. Tom Hay and the Sanchester United will be taking over. I have given them a free trade. They are trading Hippowdon for Gigalith. This will remove Hippowdon from Tom's playoffs options when he makes it to playoffs. All of Hippowdon's stats are also transferred to Gigalith. This is so that he doesn't get 34 Pokemon, where everyone else gets 33 Pokemon in the playoffs. Okay, so Ethio's team is a Sand team, and his Pokemon are Excadrill, Landorus Incarnate, which can only use Sand Force, Darmanitan, Shaman, Noivern, Manectric, Mega Slowbro, Hippowdon at the time, Florges, Alakazam, Dusknoir, and Rocky MZ. So for this week, I knew that he was most likely going to bring Sand, and that my two water types had a time to shine. So first off, I obviously made my Basculin. I made it Red Stripe Basculin, because I didn't need Rockhead or Reckless, so I just stuck with Red Stripe. Obviously, adaptability to increase my stab to 2 times instead of 1.5 times. But went with a Splash Plate because I didn't want to go Choice Band-Aid because I didn't want to lock myself into Aqua Jet and then him bring in Slowbro Mega or Noivern, something like that. I wanted to be able to switch up my moves accordingly. I brought Aqua Jet, Liquidation, Crunch, and Taunt. Taunt was a last second move as I couldn't decide what I wanted, but Taunt was there so I could stop the Slowbro from Calm Minding. I could stop Shaman from being like a bulky Leech Seed Shaman. I could stop Exeter Swords Dancing if I needed to. Florges defogging. Just basic things all around. Liquidation for raw damage. Crunch so I could hit the Dusknoir, Alakazam, Slowbro Mega. Just in general. And then obviously Aqua Jet for priority, which does a lot to his team. Especially with the adaptability. It does a lot of damage. Next up we have Jean-Arc. My Wishy-Washy. This Wishy-Washy is obviously Ice Beam, Scald, U-Turn, Hidden Power, Dark, so I'm not completely walled by the Slowbro. Argov Berry, so if it gets put into 25% range, it will eat the berry, and because the turn hasn't ended, it will not revert into Wishy-Washy solo form. Obviously, it's got max HP with max special attack with 4 in speed, because that allowed me to outspeed the Slowbro Mega, had it just been max HP, max special defense or max defense and 4 in special defense. That way I outsped it because we had the same speed. Obviously, modest nature. Ice Beam, Scald, U-Turn, Hit Power Dart allows me to hit his entire team super effectively, except for Manectric. Everything takes super effective damage except for Florges and Manectric. Sorry, I forgot about Florges. This just in general was a situation where when I brought it in, I'm pretty much free to get a huge hit off with a Scald or an Ice Beam, depending on what's coming in, and just get huge damage off, because I can definitely take a hit due to my raw stats being like so high. Next up, we have Choice Scarf Staraptor with Reckless. Now, Ruby Rose, oh god, I didn't set gender, oh well, has Brave Bird, Double Edge, Close Combat, U-Turn, with max attack, max speed. She obviously is here for like late game cleaning, allows me to outspeed his entire unboosted entire Scarf team except for Manectric and Alakazam. It also speed ties with Scarf Shaman, so it gives me those options. I've got a U-Turn, Close Combat, Brave Bird, Double Edge. Fairly standard set. I have both Brave Bird and Double Edge because he has a Manectric, so I do need to have Double Edge with me. And I need Brave Bird because of Shaman, so I did have to bring both of them. U-Turn obviously for momentum, Close Combat for the extra drill, standard max speed, max attack, nothing special there with a Choice Scarf. Following that we have Cinderfall the Torkoal with Drought. This was so I could get rid of his sand. I have a sugar berry, so if I do bring in my Torkoal on Excadrill and he wants to try and kill me off, I can take a hit, I can Lava Plume him, which will kill him in the sun, and that'll be Excadrill gone. Near max HP, 248 with max defense, 8 in special attack. The 8 in special attack made it so I had a chance to now kill. The 4 special attack was doing 99.8. 8 special attack made it like a chance to kill. I can't remember which Pokemon. I believe it was on the Darmanitan with an Earth Power. I'd have to check that. Obviously, Will-O-Wisp, so I can burn Excadrill. I can burn Darmanitan. I can burn um, obviously the Hippowdon, and he doesn't. And the Dusknoir. His physical attackers aren't. There's not many physical of them. I have obviously Earth Power, Lava Plume to hit this team, and then Stealth Rock for obviously chip damage. Next up is another Choice Scarf. I have Dual Scarf this week with Scarf, Nora Valkyrie, the Heliolisk, with Surf, Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, and Hidden Power Ice. This is just a huge threat to his team. Obviously, I've got to worry about Surf in the sun being weakened, but my whole game plan was if I get Webs up with my Leavanny, which is up next, I can click Scarf Surf in the sand and still win. Other than that, it's just a fairly standard set. It's more of a late game cleaner with max speed, max special attack, obviously. Nothing special. But following that, we have the Focus Sash, Chlorophyll, Sticky Web, Leaf Blade, Knockoff, Poison Jab, Leavanny, with max speed, max attack, Adamant. The whole purpose of this set is obviously to set up a Sticky Web, so his removal is obviously Excadrill with Rapid Spin, Landorus with Defog, Florges with Defog, and I believe Noivern gets Defog. But other than that, he doesn't have much hazard removal. I didn't see him going for much hazard removal, and if he did, it's probably going to be Rapid Spin, which I could circumvent with Staraptor's like own recoil and stuff. Or if it did go down, it was fine. Obviously, if I get the webs up, I outspeed in the sand with both my Scarfers. Excadrill gets put down to +1 speed, so my +1 speeds and the Scarf outspeed it. I also had Aqua Jet's priority just in case he did get rid of them, which does about like 80%, like 60 to 80%. A little bit of chip, and I could clean it with Emerald. Lyran, obviously, Leaf Blade for the ground type, sorry. X-Scissor for the Shaman, the Alakazam. And then obviously the knockoff is just to run items around to get rid of any choice items that I might fear. So that's the team. That's the team right here. And let's get right into the battle. Okay, so he brought Alakazam, Florges, Hippowdon, Excadrill, Landorus, and Darmanitan. And at this point in the game, like at the start of the game, I noticed that he has absolutely nothing for Wishy-Washy here, apart from Florges. And if I lead Wishy-Washy, and he likes to lead with his Hippowdon in every game so far, I saw it as an opportunity just to get massive damage off turn 1. And as you can see, I lead my Wishy-Washy, and he does indeed lead the Hippowdon. So at this point, I just click score. There's no reason not to. And obviously, in comes the Florges, which obviously is nice for me. He goes for a Moonblast as I go for a U-turn here. This U-turn allows me to go into my Basculin, which at this point is a free kill on anything that switches in here. Liquidation just gets me a free kill. So he either gives me his Florges or he brings in Sash Alakazam and then dies to Liquidation Aqua Jet. So at this point, I know I'm getting a kill here. He knows it, and he knows his game plan, which is to go into Excadrill after sacrificing Florges, which is fine by me, because I don't need the sun that much this game. And of course, I go into the sun, my Torkoal, and then this is here where I obviously double switch because I want to keep my Torkoal around, and I get my webs up for free here. And then I can just go for a nice knockoff here and get rid of a choice item in case it is Choice Scarf, which would stop me possibly winning. Obviously, the Yachi Berry is knocked off, and he goes for a nice U-turn. Goes straight back into Hippowdon, which gets rid of my Sun. At this point, I have no reason not to go into Wishy-Washy, and click Scold again. I get a huge hit off here, as he goes for Stealth Rocks. He then switches out into Alakazam here. And this, for some reason, this is not Magic Guard and has Synchronize, which kind of screws me over a bit because I do actually snag another burn. My school burns are on point here. And this is a burned Wishy-Washy. So at this point, I did not know that Wishy-Washy, the way Wishy-Washy ability works. I know that if you get taken down to 25%, you go into solo form, but at the end of the turn. So if you get taken down to like 1% with a Sash, you still get your big hit off as schooling form. So what I thought was, I have an Arguab Berry here, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to die here. So I could switch into my Torkoal, take the Stealth Rocks damage, and then switch in later with Wishy-Washy. Stealth Rocks will put me down to my Arguab Berry. I'll go back to high HP, because I can live in Earthquake, and kill Excadrill at high HP. But unfortunately, as you can see, when I bring in my Torkoal, and later on you'll see that doesn't quite play out. So he goes for the Energy Ball, I live, and at this point, I'm ready to let Cinder die. So I just go for a Stealth Rock on the chance that he goes into his Hippowdon here, not wanting to lose Alakazam, or not wanting to be in a position where I get my Heliolisk in or something. So he does indeed do exactly that, and I get Rocks up for free here, which is absolutely huge. Obviously, I died to the Sand, but I do get Rocks. Now, this here is where a little bit of a scare happens, because my plan didn't go to plan. I did get my berry, but I didn't go into my schooling form. So obviously Schooled, I didn't know if Schooled killed. The calc wasn't giving me the right calc for non-school form, so I was in a bit of a... I didn't want to Scald here and lose Wishy-Washy for no reason. So I just go for a U-turn here. And unfortunately, he does slack off, which does worry me a bit, because I know he has Smooth Rock from the 8 turns of last time. I go for a U-turn. Obviously, this is where things go a bit issue, because obviously he gets a nice Facade on me, which is good bring on his part. This Facade allowed him to take me down to the point where that entire situation where I gave him a free slack off was wasted, and obviously I died here. So obviously I go into Emerald here. My Basculin, I have no reason not to. This is a free kill. He goes into Alakazam, obviously. That's Stealth Rock kill for Torkoal. And now I've got to play this quite weird. He goes into Landorus. Now, I contemplated clicking Aqua Jet here. But I was worried that if I click Aqua Jet and it was bulky and it somehow lived, I don't know if it could, but if it did somehow live, I'd be in major problems, because I still need this Aqua Jet priority. It's more important than anything. So I switch into Staraptor here, hoping he either just Sludge Waves and kills me, or he goes so I can go into Heliolisk and start spamming Surf, or he goes for an Earth Power, and he does exactly that. Earth Power comes out here, and I'm in a great position now. I get a free kill. So I'm going to kill his Hippowdon with Double Edge. Crit doesn't matter at this point. We're in the situation where I now have to get this kill. If I don't kill this thing here and he has Focus Sash, he is going to be able to possibly win with Sash Diamantine, but I do still have Aqua Jet. So at this point, I just go for damage, so he's in Surf range. And he tries going for, as you can see, he tries going for a Rapid Spin. And obviously, because of recoil damage, he doesn't get his Rapid Spin off, which is absolutely huge for me, because now I can go into Heliolisk and click Surf to win this game. And that's exactly what I do. Surf once, in comes Diamantine, takes 25%. If it was Scarf or if it was Sash, it no longer is. Dies to a Surf, and then obviously I clean up the Landorus and get a nice 2-0 victory against the Aussie Aggrons, which is pretty decent. I didn't get a GG, obviously, unfortunately. No GG was said, and then he dropped the league, unfortunately. But I am now 2-1 with a +3 differential. My next week match is against, I believe, Vienna and the Metagross Mechanics. So that'll be the next game. Obviously, in my opinion, I think Basculin was the MVP because of that Aqua Jet pressure. But obviously the kills obviously go to Heliolisk, so that will be the thumbnail for this week. Thanks, guys. Sorry about the slight music cutouts. My music was playing up a bit, wasn't looping, kept changing songs, so obviously I don't have any editing, so you will hear that once or twice, but, I'm going to get better eventually. Thanks. I will also try to be fixing my audio as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.